In our family, my mother was the center of gravity. My dad was a hard hat construction worker who dropped out of school at the age of 10 and was a very canny guy. I knew that my mother was somebody quite special. She was only 16 when she left high school, graduated, but couldn't afford to go to college because it cost $100 a year. But in our family, she made us alert to public affairs and protocol, taught the boys how to dance, what forks to use, and could laugh at our humor, but knew where to draw the line. And so I always felt that I grew up with a liberated woman as a mother. It's just that the rest of the community didn't always acknowledge that.
Yeah, they weren't there yet. And then let's talk about your wife, Meredith, because you say in the book that she gracefully achieved it all, or was able to manage it all.
She was able to manage it all.
How so? Because it wasn't easy, was it?
It was not easy. When we were first married and we went to college, for example, and then got out of college, she had a sterling record. I was a screw off for the first couple of years, kind of recovered at the end, but didn't graduate with anything special in terms of a grade point average or academic honors. I got a job right away. She couldn't. Yeah. They said, well, honey, you're just newly married. You're going to have a baby. We don't want to have pregnancy on our terms.
And what year was this?
62.
Okay.
But that went on for a while. And then we got to California. We started having a family. And Meredith would have a child, and I would help with child care. And she was doing work at the local university in linguistics, which were her interests, until we got the kids to a point that they could go to school. And then she went back more full-time. By the time we got to New York, and the children were then 10, 12, and 14, or maybe even a little bit younger, she opened a chain of toy stores in New York, very successful. But she expected me to come home at the early part of the day, because I was doing the Today Show, and pick up my end of things, which I did. And we worked it out, so she did have it all.
You know, and it struck me, your daughter's, do you have a daughter named Jennifer?
I do, who's a doctor, yeah.
Yeah, here she is a doctor, and as your other two girls are very successful in careers, and yet they struggle, even today, don't they, to achieve a balance?
Well, Jennifer read this book, and she's an emergency room physician with 2 daughters and a very successful husband who's a very good father. But she said, from women of my generation, Dad, it's tough. We want to be full-time professionals, but we also want to be full-time moms, and we want to be there for our husbands. The husbands are great, but we feel a certain maternal obligation to our children. So these choices are tough, and I think that is the next phase for society to deal with in terms of coming to grips with this whole issue of feminism and what it means and where we go with women in our society. We're going to need everybody to help, and in most companies, most men, if they're honest, will tell you the women are the real stars these days.